So for this little demonstration, I'm going to take a look at whether or not Chicago Bulls hat is MS13. Okay? Because we have, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Apparently, you're guilty until you're proven innocent, right? We're not doing America right. We're not going to do America with the Blackstone ratio. We're not going to do America like John Adams and Ben Franklin and, all those James Madison, all them fucking founding father assholes. We're not going to do America like that anymore. What, the whole Bill of Rights thing? Who gives a shit? Constitution, enumerated powers, Bills of Rights. The rule of law, federalism, bicameralism. All these things are to stop America from being tyrannical. Okay? So, I'm looking at this, and here's a picture of Kilmar Abrego Garcia with his family. So he's got 3 kids. He's got a wife and he's got 3 kids, right? And his daughter, kind of making that weird, funny face. This, younger brother seems too young to even know he's taking a picture. And then he's got, his, little 7-year-old or something who's seems like he needs a father, right? He seems like an okay guy. Seems like he's going to be an okay person. He's going to need his father. Now, here in this picture, he's wearing the Bulls hat. He's wearing the Bulls hat. And is that MS-13? There is some indicators, right? With the Crips, you hike one pant leg up. Crips are blues, Bloods are reds. But I don't know if this is the... Can we be for sure? What can we, First of all, you're not guilty because you wear a Chicago Bulls hat. If that's the case, then a lot of Chicago Bulls fans are, Michael Jordan. That'd be news to Michael Jordan. So I guess we'll start with where they're even coming up with this shit. So I took a look at MS-13. And when it comes to MS-13, I mean, if you're a true MS-13 gangsta, you're going to have MS-13 tattooed all over your face, all over your body. That is, he's got big Mara Salvador. That's MS, right? Mara Salvarucci or whatever. So you got MS-13 just on your chest, MS-13 on your face. MS-13, MS on your head, MS on your cheek. It doesn't, 13 right there on his temple. Like this guy's MS-13. There is no doubt in him in his MS-13. So, that's gangsta shit. You're not being on the down low. There's no denying whether or not you're part of MS-13. Now, when I'm looking at all these tattoos, they have MS-13, but they have like some other tattoos as well. There looks like a picture of some kind of woman right there. Looks like some kind of web, some kind of net or something. I don't, it doesn't seem that it's obvious. Here's something right here. So this comes up every once in a while. Here's a better picture of it. This is the devil horns symbol. I've seen it several times in rock and roll. When it comes to rock and roll, they'll do that. And it's the devil horn symbol, where you just have your index finger and your pinky finger extended, and you hold the 2 fingers down with your thumb, and that's devil horns, right? Devil horns. So is it possible this guy's got this, looks like devil horns on his back, MS, right? So there's something there, right? So devil horns, but not all of them are devil horns, right? MS-13 is the biggest thing, right? If you got MS-13, okay, well, you're probably MS-13, right? You have MS-13 tattooed on you. And MS-13 was actually founded in LA. And it makes me wonder if it's just one of those government things. Government says, "Hey, you're MS-13." It's like, what is that? Well, it's the new gang that's in town. Oh, I didn't know that. And then it becomes a thing, right? It's like Al Qaeda wasn't in Iraq until the U.S. invasion. Okay, so we see that there is something about the devil horns. When I think about the devil horns, I also think about that one guy in that one movie with the Breakfast Club. And so in the Breakfast Club, he was like, you mess with me, if you mess with the bull, you'll get the horns. If you mess with the bulls, you get the horns, which is actually hilarious. Because it's like, he's not, he doesn't seem like he's a tough guy, frankly. He's like, you mess with me, you get the horns, okay? You mess with me, you get the horns. So, there's that. But then I think about, there's so much actually iconography. There's so many different images out there. I don't even like the idea of anybody saying that they're a devil. We should be committed to goodness. If you're saying you're a devil, then you're saying you're committed to wickedness. And in terms of warfare, right, you give them hell. You give them hell, Harry. But in terms of civilization, is it warfare? Is, basketball? I guess when you get to maybe NBA level, but ultimately, isn't it just a game? Aren't we just kind of here to have fun? No, we're here to smash and destroy and cheat and do whatever it takes. So this is a blue devil right here. So is this people that support Duke University? Are they MS13 too? That's devil horns, right? That's literal devil horns. Bull horns? Bull horns aren't devil horns. And so, I didn't see bull horns. I just saw them doing those devil horn, that rock and roll thing. So, Duke University's got the Devils, and then you got the New Jersey Devils, right? Look at these New Jersey Devils. Is that MS13 right there? So you got, Duke University. Where is Duke University at? Duke University. So we're going to have to take a look at New Jersey. Duke University. This is in North Carolina. So we're going to have to check out everybody in North Carolina. We're going to have to check out everybody in New Jersey. Sun Devils. This is Arizona. So we're going to need to check out everybody in Arizona, the homegrowns, right? We're going to be shipping out homegrowns. Fascism is here. And so it's a fact. It's a fact of nature. It's not like we're toying with the idea. It's not like, okay, maybe he's like sort of slipping into this direction. No, he's here. It's there. It's obvious. It's not even fucking funny. Let's take a look. A couple more pictures. This is a family man. Is he Father of the Year? I don't know if he's the greatest father ever, but he's got 3 healthy children. That's pretty good, right? Here's one, picture. And he's got, Chicago Bulls hat right there. Another Chicago Bulls hat, right? He has a black Chicago Bulls hat, a white Chicago Bulls hat. Looks like it's got some sort of, cake right there. Is this a birthday party with, strawberries on top? And then, holding his son right there. And then, let's see here. Here's another picture of him holding his baby. So, is this, is this the devil? Is this the devil incarnate? Is this, a terrible person? When you read his backstory, ultimately, I'm not defending his guilt or innocence. I don't know one way or another. What I do know is that the government has admitted to an error. They admitted that they sent him back to El Salvador, even though there was a direct order not to. In 2019, there was a court order that says, if there's going to be deportation, don't send him back to El Salvador. But they were sent to El Salvador. So they directly, and this has got a picture. Is that actually him? They're circling right him. And then they say he's got tattoos on his left arm. So maybe that's him, maybe it's not him. But what do the tattoos on his arms say? So when I think about his story, he would have a bunch of reasons to join MS13. He's by himself. He's alone. He was being extorted by the Barrio 18. This competing gang was, trying to extort him. Why would they extort him? Because they're the only people that's selling tortillas and cheese and beans and savory pork. So they're one of the few, food businesses in town, since they're one of the few food businesses in town. They're trying to say, okay, you better give us money. And if you don't give us money, then we're going to make one of your sons into MS13. So I do see him coming to America, wanting a different life. And is he MS13? Is he not MS13? I guess only in his heart of hearts does he know who he is. And do you have to do more than just say that you're MS13? There's some initiation where some MS13 groups, you actually have to murder a person. And I've heard lots of different initiations for these gangs. There's this one gang in Louisville, what they want to do is just put a red bead on a cop. So just a red laser dot on a police officer. So that's, no bloodshed. Nobody gets injured with that. And I think it's ridiculous that this is the only evidence that you got. This is the only evidence that you got is that he wore a Chicago Bulls hat. He was being extorted. He would have many reasons to join a gang. There's that one story where the guy goes up and says, "What gang affiliation are you?" And they didn't have a response. When I think about how terrible family lives are in America, if you join a gang, then you actually have a brotherhood. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to join a family where you actually have a brotherhood? That question about the guy saying, which gang are you affiliated with, the guy didn't have an answer. So Bob asked Tom, what gang are you affiliated with? Tom said, no gang. Bob kills Tom. Because, well, you got no people backing you. You got no family. If you're Bloods, well, shit, I'm going to be, pissing off the Bloods. Your Crips, your MS13, your Tren de Aragua, your Barrio 18. Then that means, shit, I'm going to be pissing off the whole tribe. I'm going to be pissing off the whole gang. Oh, you're by yourself? So then you're relying on the cops? Makes me think that you should just the American Citizen gang. Nah, I'm American Citizen. What's up? Nah, American CITIZEN. America Citizen. Citizen. I'm a citizen. Because if you're just relying on just the police in general, then you don't have a gang. You don't have anybody that's going to back in. So when that, Bob killed Tom or whatever, did he get in trouble for it? Because if there's no consequences to your evil behavior, then the evil behavior will carry on. So I've explored this enough in detail. I don't think it's easy to just say, well, he had a Chicago Bulls hat on. I mean, he's in America. People wear lots of different gear. A lot of times, you wear the local gear, but Maryland, what fucking teams are in Maryland? Professional sports teams in Maryland. Okay, the Ravens. I guess he could have been a Raven. Growing up as a Wildcat, that was my high school mascot. You do identify with it. I internalized it big time, right? Because we are the Wildcats. So being a Wildcat, okay, you want civilization, Wildcat. There's Bulldogs, the Bulls. But the Devils, the Blue Crabs, the Devils, that seems like we're going into some dark territory with Devils. There's not even angels. There's not even like a good, group like fighting angels. Or I guess Los Angeles. The Saints. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that Chicago Bulls hat does not mean you're MS13. It could, but it also could not. And he doesn't have MS13 on his face. He's got tattoos on his arms. So let's take a look at those tattoos. What do those tattoos say? Any of them say MS13 on them? Any of them close to being MS13? What are the tattoos? And then again, just because you say you're a part of a gang, or even if you have tattoos that you're a part of a gang, Have you committed a crime? Are you allowed to be a part of a gang? I mean, you're allowed to associate with whomever you want to associate with. So it's like this guy is guilty before he's innocent. It's like he's got to prove his innocence, which is the opposite of, innocent until proven guilty. So I'm not totally defending his innocence or his guilt. What I am defending is that he has a right to due process. He has a right to have a court hearing where evidence is shown to the judge, and then the evidence that is shown to the judge, let's assume the judge is all about deportation, Let's assume the judge is about getting it right. So the judge looks at the evidence and then determines for himself. Somebody said that he was part of MS13, but the guy that claimed it was from New York. So some guy in New York said, and then people just do that shit all the time to try to get a lesser plea deal. They'll just, finger somebody. No, that person is part of that gang, and that person's a part of that gang. And so people just make up crap all the time. So ultimately, no, I don't know if everybody knows that. That is not common parlance. Everybody that's in a Chicago Bulls hat is automatically MS13. No, that is not a thing that I know of. Jesse Waters is like, everybody knows. Shut the fuck up, Jesse Waters. Everybody. And then since the, Trump administration is flat out lying, I'm not going to be able to believe anybody. I'm not going to be able to believe anybody, the sycophants or anybody that's, anybody who's not careful to the truth, who's not careful with their words. I'm not going to be able to trust any of these motherfuckers. Because we know the Trump administration is just straight up, he's a terrorist, part of a foreign terrorist. He's a foreign terrorist, MS13. And he might not have done any crimes, but the other ones have done crimes. Okay. Can you just say, well, there's a guy in Cleveland that committed a crime, so I'm just going to throw all of Cleveland into a gulag? Come on now.